welcome to my channel. Well, as you can see, this thing's unloaded, and it's a model 637-2, and I don't remember how I cut myself like that. It's a 38 Special Plus P Airweight, and this is, you know, when they say, if you could only pick one gun, or you could only pick one knife, you could only pick one. I already had to go through that process, and through the process of weeding things out and getting down. For the longest time, this was my only pistol that I had left. I want to take that back. There's that North American Arms Derringer. I'm not Derringer. It looks like a Derringer. It's a little tiny revolver, 22 long rifle. Here's a model 37 Airweight. I've owned the model 37 and the model 36. The difference between the 37 and the 36 is the 36 is steel frame, and the 37 is aluminum or some kind of alloy frame. This one here, the barrel is stainless steel, the cylinder is stainless steel, and the crane is stainless steel. The rest of this is an aluminum alloy. And what that does is it reduces the carry weight quite a bit, and like 14 ounces. Now you can get them with the shroud over here to protect the hammer, and that allows it to be fired from within a pocket without snagging up. You can get them with a shroud over here, you know, like one with, like I said, just the hammer's still exposed, but it's got a little slit in it. And then you've got one where the hammer's still in there, but this thing's completely rounded, and it's basically double action only, because there's no way to cock the hammer back to this is a single action mode right here. The advantage to this mode is more accuracy. Now, in almost all defensive uses and everything, I'm running this thing double action. You pull the trigger and it drops. So another good thing about a revolver is you can usually easily see if it's loaded or unloaded just by looking to the side. You don't see any rounds. Of course, there is disadvantages. You only have 5 rounds. In all the gunfights I've been in my life, I haven't needed more than 5 rounds. Of course, I haven't been in any gunfights in my life, but there are such things as speed loaders that allows you to eject the empty cases, put the speed loader in there, drop it, and you're ready to go. It takes longer than an automatic, yes. You know, you could just drop a magazine in. There are advantages and disadvantages to revolvers, all right? Some people would say they're more reliable. I'd say they're less ammunition sensitive, all right? Because I've seen revolvers fail. There's quite a few different ways revolvers can fail. And one that gets people sometimes is this pin here can back out sometimes and seize up the, you can't get it out, basically, without, you know, getting some pliers in here and turning that back. That's rare. That doesn't happen a whole lot. If you get high primers, you know, like on reloads or whatever, they could drag against the cylinder face right here. I put some glow-in-the-dark paint up on my ramp here, and it fits in this holster, so you can pocket carry it. And this lip right here kind of helps prevent the whole holster from coming out at the same time. So you just reach into your pocket. This can be carried easily in my front pocket. Reach into your pocket, and you can come out with a pistol if you need to. Now, some people say, oh, you know, it's only a 2-inch barrel, It's only a 38 special. It only has 5 shots. Alright. What's the best kind of gun to have with you in a gunfight? A gun. Any gun. If you get into a gunfight, the person without a gun is at a big disadvantage. These are easily concealable, round butt. I had to scallop this off because the way the factory grips were at, you couldn't get a speed loader in here without having to jiggle it. So I relief cut this, and yeah, it doesn't look super great, but it works. That's, you know, for me, I'm going for function more than appearance or anything else. Function and reliability. With the Model 37, at one time in my life, I was able to stand at 50 yards. I was in single action mode and put all 5 rounds in a B-27 silhouette target at 50 yards. That is not easy to do with a small little gun, but you need to know what your limitations are. And 50 yards is way beyond usually self-defense range unless you're being shot at, you know, by a rifle or something else. But it's good to know your limitations, and it's good to know the capabilities and limitations of both the weapon and yourself. So these things have gone up quite a bit in price. They used to be around $300 or $400. Now they're in the $500 range or more. And you can get laser sights and all this other stuff, but you know, it's just fixed sight, and that's usually because it's close up. I mean, that most criminals don't announce themselves from miles away. Hey, I'm about to rob you. You know, they get up close, and it's quick. So this one has served me well throughout the years. I only got it when I moved up here. I traded in some other guns and purchased this one. And like I said, I have complete confidence and faith in this gun to protect myself if I need to. And that's what it's there for. Because Texas is a concealed carry state with no permit required, all you have to do is carry it in a holster, which this qualifies as a holster because it is. And that's pretty much all there is I can say about this gun. I mean, I've owned them for decades. The first Model 60 came out in 1965. It was called the Chief Special because it was a chief of police convention, I think, when they introduced it. And it's been extremely popular ever since. And a lot of people say, you know, a 38 lacks stopping power and all this other stuff. Again, it depends on shot placement, it depends on the caliber, and it depends on the condition of the target you're shooting. I wouldn't want to go up against a bear with one of these, just put it that way. But any other human, any other normal-like human and stuff, if you know what you're doing, this gun right here in the right hands could save your life. It's not a matter of just buying the gun and thinking you're protected. You really have to go out and shoot and practice with these things. Shoot and practice reloading, practice drawing from concealment, all of this stuff. And you got to be very careful. I've seen a lot of people shoot themselves practicing quick fire, draw fire, you know. And the big mistake they make is when they're pulling the gun out of the holster, they put their finger in the trigger. The problem with that, of course, is if you run into any snag, like your front sight is long and happens to snag up on here, and you're got your finger on the trigger while you're pulling, you're going to meet resistance. The hammer's going to come back, and pow! And where's that round going to go? I saw one guy shoot himself in the back of the leg. They were Bexar County Sheriff's Department was doing a qualification course for some of their trainees or rookies or whatever, and they were having a night fire where they would draw from the holster, fire 2 rounds, and reholster. And this guy was quick on the draw and wound up shooting it through his holster, and it caught the back of his, above the knee, and lodged in the calf. So, and that was with a 38 special wad cutter round, which are not designed for penetration. You know, they're round and flat. They're designed to cut a nice clean hole in a target, a nice circle. And they also do a lot of damage on people, too. So, yeah, as far as like, I mean, like I joke around. I mean, this is really a joke because of knives and stuff. It's just more of a joke around. But really, with guns, you really need to think about safety all the time, because the one time you get lax and you start doing safety third on a gun, you might wind up shooting yourself or someone else. I know people have shot themselves in the foot, shot themselves in the leg, all from doing improper things with guns. So if you don't know how to handle a gun, just get a course. You know, go to some kind of course. Usually most cities have a place either for concealed carry. Even though Texas doesn't require you to have a concealed carry permit, you can still get one. And one of the advantages of that is when you go to buy a gun, you don't have to fill out that. Well, you don't have to. You get an instant. It's basically the same as a background check. I don't know. Maybe they still do go through a background check, but they always ask me if I have the CCW, or concealed carry weapon permit, when I go to buy a gun, and I say no. And I just go through the whole approval process. But I heard one guy talking behind the counter and said, well, if you got that, you don't have to go through the approval process. You still have to fill out the form. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Like I said, I'm no authority on all this stuff. But all these guns that I ever had and stuff, I shot every one of them. I didn't just, you know, this one I shot so much I wore the timing out on it, on the hand. I shot it so much that it stopped revolving. And I made the mistake of trying to take it apart. Oh my God, never try to take one of these apart. The parts are so tiny. And I think I lost a part in the process. So I basically configured it so that it's a single shot instead of a 5-shot now. But because that barrel was so short and everything, a lot of times the bullets with keyhole, so it's not, it was like, you know, like an inch barrel or something. It's not stabilizing the bullet enough in flight. And so when a bullet hits like sideways on the target at close range, it's not going to do anything good at long range. It's just going to, it's almost like a musket ball, non-rifled. You put it in the barrel and you shoot and you hope it goes straight. But yeah, they don't always go straight. So yeah, and this was a 22 Magnum high standard Derringer. Like I said, this one right here was like a last ditch kind of backup weapon, and you had to really want to shoot it when you pulled that trigger, because it was really like 15, 25 pounds. It was huge. I mean, you really had to yank back on that trigger to get it to fire. And loud. A 22 Magnum in a short barrel like that. I fired it one time. I stepped outside the range, and we had a covered awning over the front of it. I stepped out there, and without any ear protection, I was outside. I fired it, and oh my God, that awning and the enclosed area and everything. Well, that's part of the reason why my ears are ringing right now, is ear damage. You know, you'll get tinnitus from that. But anyways, yeah, there you go. That's just a little quickie on my favorite concealed carry gun and why I like it. Because again, with revolvers, you can use any powered ammunition in there. You can use target loads all the way up to +P, and it will function reliably. In an automatic, it's usually ammunition specific. And that's because an automatic relies on the recoil to push the slide back, recoil from the being fired. And if it doesn't have as much recoil as normal, it's not going to function as properly. So yeah, like I said, there are advantages and disadvantages to every gun. A revolver, like I said, there are no springs cocked right now. You know, it's at rest. They're easy to see if they're loaded or unloaded. Reloading them is fairly easy. Just push a button, tip it up so that gravity will help, slap it down. I usually do like the police one where they teach you to open it like this so that you can control the cylinder. But yeah, there you go. I'll probably talk too long on this one anyway. But oh, and also one other thing. I would like to thank an anonymous viewer for sending me this book. An illustrated history of flint, from the flintlock to automatic weapons, fighting handguns. This is written by the British. It's a British publication, and I think it only goes up to where's the date on these? Usually is 1996. So it's a good book. I mean, like I said, it covers quite a bit of stuff. Lots of pictures and stuff like that. So, thank you, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone else, for watching.